Most people believe that if they were smarter, they would be richer. But here's an uncomfortable truth. Some of the smartest people you'll ever meet are deeply broke. They're educated, they're logical, they understand numbers, and yet they struggle with money. Not because they don't know how money works, but because they don't understand how their mind works around money. Let me tell you a story. Two people earn the same income, same city, same expenses. One slowly builds wealth. The other is constantly stressed, living paycheck to paycheck. The difference isn't discipline. It isn't intelligence. It's psychology. From a young age, we're taught that money is about math. Earn more, spend less, invest the difference. Simple, right? But if money were logical, everyone who understands budgeting would be wealthy. And that's clearly not the case. Money decisions are emotional decisions disguised as logical ones. Every time you spend, save, invest, or avoid money, your brain is reacting emotionally first and justifying it logically later. Your brain evolved to survive, not to build wealth. Thousands of years ago, survival meant avoiding danger, consuming resources when available, seeking short-term certainty. Those instincts still run your financial life today. That's why saving feels painful, spending feels rewarding, long-term planning feels exhausting. Your brain sees immediate rewards as safety, and it sees delayed rewards as risk, even when logic says otherwise. Here's the part no one talks about. Smart people are better at rationalizing bad financial behavior. They don't make fewer mistakes. They just explain their mistakes better. I deserve this. I'll learn more later. I've thought it through. Intelligence becomes a tool for self-deception. And the more intelligent you are, the more convincing your excuses sound. Most people don't manage money based on goals. They manage money based on identity. If deep down you see yourself as bad with money, not a money person, someone who struggles financially, your actions will quietly align with that identity. Even when opportunities appear, you'll sabotage them, not consciously, but psychologically. The mind protects identity more than it protects wealth. This might sound strange, but for many people, financial stress is familiar, and familiarity feels safe. Your brain prefers a predictable struggle over an unfamiliar success. That's why people return to old spending habits after raises, debt reappears after being paid off, progress stalls just before real growth happens. It's not laziness, it's neurological comfort. More money doesn't just bring freedom, it brings responsibility, visibility, and change. With more money, you can't blame circumstances anymore. Your choices matter more, expectations increase. For some people, staying broke is a form of emotional protection. No expectations, no pressure, no risk of failing at a higher level. Spending gives the brain something powerful, a feeling of control. Clicking buy now produces a dopamine response. It feels like progress, even when it's not. Saving, on the other hand, feels like loss. You're giving up pleasure now for a future you can't fully feel yet. That's why willpower alone never works long-term. You're fighting biology with motivation. Wealthy people don't have better discipline. They have better systems. They reduce the number of emotional decisions they have to make. They automate savings. They create rules instead of relying on mood. They distance themselves from daily money stress. They don't ask, "Do I feel like doing this?" They ask, What system supports the future version of me? The most damaging belief isn't money is evil or I'll never be rich. It's this: I'll fix my money habits later. Later never comes. Because habits don't change with time. They change with awareness and intentional design. Real financial growth begins when you stop asking, "How do I make more money?" and start asking, "Why do I behave this way around money?" When you understand your emotional triggers, your fears, your identity stories, money stops controlling you. You start designing your behavior instead of reacting to it. You don't need to be smarter to be wealthier. You need to understand the invisible forces guiding your decisions. Because money doesn't live in your bank account. It lives in your mind. And once you master that, everything else changes.